Just when I thought maybe we'll have a slow Diddy week, but it's far from slow. All right, let me just get this here. What's going on? Good evening, everyone. It's your evening Diddy update. Just when I thought that we might have a slow Diddy week, there were several stories, and I told you, if there's things that, conspiracy theories, random, there's so many of those. No, this is really your Diddy update of what is trending right now in regards to Diddy news, actual news in regards to his possible lawsuits and things like that. But before we get into that, so people are notified, be sure to like the video if you haven't already. I'm going to go over a couple of stories that we already reported on earlier today, but you might have missed it because of the algorithm. So make sure that you check out these stories. I'll just give you a brief overview of what we've posted today. First of all, we did recap the Real Housewives of Potomac. So if you missed that, be sure to check that out. There will be a podcast version because I know some of you love to just take the podcast version on the go and listen to it while you're working or on the go or you're commuting. So I'll be doing that after this full day. We also reported on Janice Combs. So Janice Combs broke her silence in a statement to a local news outlet. So I went over that earlier today, so you can check that out. Basically, she's saying that her son, Sean Diddy Combs, is not the monster that people have painted him out to be. I read the full statement in that video and I add some commentary. So if you missed it, be sure to check that out. Maybe I'll add that to my Diddy Update podcast version. So you'll have everything in one area. Let me take a sip from the tea. Because the tea is hot tonight, literally. Look, literally. The tea is hot tonight, okay? So I also updated you guys maybe a couple of hours ago, maybe like 3 hours ago. I updated you guys in regards to, first of all, rest in peace to Cissy Houston, Whitney Houston's mother and famed gospel singer, passed away at 91 years old. I don't think anyone knew that she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. She passed away today here in, well, not here, but I always consider New Jersey part of New York, but in New Jersey. So we had that news. Then we had Drake. So Drake was posting, Drake is always, Drake needs to grow up. Drake needs to mature. Drake is a grown man. Hey, Google, how old is Drake?
37 years old.
I feel like he's a little bit older than that, but there's something that needs to happen when it comes to Drake. Because his social media antics, he's still in his feelings. He is a Scorpio, sorry Scorpios, but he's a water sign. So he's still in his feelings about losing that rap battle against Kendrick Lamar. And probably what's worse is not just losing the rap battle, is the fact that that song, Not Like Us, has turned into an actual record that could win a Grammy for Kendrick Lamar. So it's just threefold. He's not happy about it, okay? But, he's 38 this month? Oh yeah, it's October. Hey, shout out to the Scorpios. Exactly. Theo says 37 years old. Drake acts like a youngin'. He acts more than a youngin'. Okay. So he's on social media posting all random stuff, okay? And then he posted Solange after the elevator incident. You remember the elevator incident where it was leaked, elevator footage of Solange Knowles kicking and hitting Jay-Z. And Beyonce was literally there, just sort of like standing back. To this day, we do not know what played out in that. Yes, Beyonce played with it and, mentioned it in the song. $1 billion in an elevator? Okay. Who knows? Maybe these two haven't even been, like, Solange and Beyonce probably have not been the same since that incident. But to this day, we don't know what really went down in the elevator. I mean, we know what went down, but we don't know why it went down. Yes, there were rumors. She found that Jay-Z was cheating or what. We don't know, okay? So Drake posts a photo of Solange after the elevator incident in the car. Then right after that video, that Instagram story, he posts Aaliyah. So there's been a lot of speculation that Jay-Z and Diddy allegedly, a conspiracy theory, has something to do with Aaliyah's passing. So a lot of people are connecting, why did Drake post the Solange and then post Aaliyah? He also has a very unhealthy obsession with Aaliyah Drake, okay? I will point that out. Chanel, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate the support. So that was one of the videos that we did earlier today. The other ridiculousness that's happening in pop culture today is that Jussie Smollett is on a promo trail. Yes, but he actually has something to promote, and that is his new movie, Lost Holiday. He's in it, he directed it, fine. But you also know that he never finished his prison term. He was supposed, he got 150 days for those multiple felonies for faking that, I forgot what month it happened in. I just know it was brick cold in Chicago. So in a new interview with Entertainment Tonight, he says that he spent nearly $3 million. $3 million in defending himself against this hoax. And he says he's doing it for principle. It's the principle of it all. And I have to tell you, in covering the story, if you want the specific details and a clip of what he said, I did a separate video talking about it. I'm just giving you an overview before we get to your Diddy update. But even the way he spoke in that interview, I was like, are we speaking in riddles? So he's saying for the principle of it all, he did not do what they say that he did. He also says that he's the only one in this situation that hasn't changed his story. Yes, you have not admitted the truth. But actually, you did change your story. Well, maybe you didn't change your story because you swore it was white men that attacked you, except it was 2 Nigerian black men. So we're trying to understand where that came up with. First of all, his story, whatever he was trying to do, wasn't even believable. It was as good as his acting on Empire. I also don't even believe, look, nothing that comes out of Jussie Smollett's mouth do I believe. Because where did he get $3 million from? We've got his other star, was it Hakeem? What was his name? From Empire. He's on Only, you know, OF. He's on there. I don't know if I can say that here, even though they're 2 words that exist, but whatever. That poor boy is on there. Apparently, I don't know, does he? I don't want him to say it because I'm not sure. If I'm not sure 100%, I'm not going to say it. Okay? Where he get $3 million from? Because before Empire, yes, we knew who Jussie Smollett was. Yeah, Bashir. Yes. Yeah. Okay, here come Nasra. So I'm trying to understand where he got $3 million from. Because, yes, Empire was hugely successful. But $3 million, to me, it was $3 million wasted, Jussie. $3 million wasted. If you missed any of my Jussie Smollett updates, honestly, go check them out because they were fun to make. There's certain videos that are fun to make, like the Latasha Scott and the Escape stuff. Oh, those are fun to do. Sometimes we have a good time when we cover some of these pop culture stories. So according to Jussie Smollett, he spent nearly $3 million. $3 million defending himself in this hoax. Mind you, now, it's because he only served, 6 days of the 150 days that he was supposed to serve. He could be behind this. We could be talking about his new movie without talking about everything else. Exactly. Thank you, Sydney, because I was like, wait a second, there's another element to the Empire stuff that I needed to mention. Sydney says $3 million when Taraji was crying over being underpaid and she was in Empire. Not only Taraji was complaining about how she was paid on Empire, we're also talking about the other star. Oh my gosh, why am I having such a brain fart today? Damn it, the other star. Her ex-husband in the show. I can't think of his name. He's got the nice perm now. Lexi says he borrowed from his siblings. He didn't say that though. Terrence Howard, thank you. Woo! Don't get old. No, I'm playing. And you know I have a good memory. I just couldn't think of it. So Terrence Howard, also, isn't he suing his agents? Terrence Howard, isn't he suing his agents? about how much he got paid on there and how much he's not getting in residuals, where you get $3 million from that you paid? And even if he got it from his siblings, the only other sibling that could to do it would be his sister. The other ones can't pay for that. But again, we have to remember we're talking about a liar. We're talking about a liar. Of course, we can't prove that he didn't pay this amount. I will never believe anything that comes out of Jussie Smollett's mouth. And he's made it worse for himself. Made it worse for himself. It's become ridiculous. And I'm all about forgiveness. Like, look, he doesn't need forgiveness from me or anyone. But honestly, I wouldn't support anything that he does now because I feel like he used being a black man, being a gay black man, to benefit his narrative. And during that time, trying to get off the hype of the whole MAGA stuff and things like that, I feel like he doesn't realize how he actually hurt others and put others in danger because of what he has done, what he has been convicted of. In my thoughts. So, but that's me. I'm not telling you not to. You do what you want with your dollars, okay? Because he spent $3 million of his dollars allegedly fighting this hoax. Now it's at the Supreme Court, the Illinois Supreme Court. So we shall see what they decide, and when they decide that he's going back to jail, I'll be back here to, let's say, I told you so. Or either way, if he gets free, I'm like, Jussie is free. All right. Jussie is free, okay? That's your update from what we've been covering. So before we get to the Diddy of it all, don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the Kempire podcast. And shout out to our friends over at Factor. Factor Meals is amazing. You know, I've tried it in my busy life. Like today is a perfect day to have Factor. It's such a busy Monday between recaps and stories. Factor makes quality meals and you can have them in under 2 minutes. It's the best. And it's that time of the year when I really don't feel like cooking. I really never feel like cooking. You know how I am. Sweater weather pairs perfectly with savory fall foods, but with your busy schedule, sometimes it's hard to eat the way that you'd like to. That's where Factor comes in. Their chefs do the shopping and the chopping to bring you fresh, never frozen, fully cooked meals right to your doorstep. All you have to do is heat and eat. Love that. All of their meals are dietitian approved, so you know you're getting the nutrition you need along with the fall flavors you crave. The most that I love about Factor meals is that they have something for everyone. Everything from Gourmet Plus, Keto, Calorie Smart, Vegan and Veggie. They also have that in the jail for Diddy. Not Factor, but they have Vegan and Veggie. So you'll always find something that you love that suits your lifestyle. And I always tell you, my favorite part of Factor is the fact that they have these amazing add-ons that you should definitely check out, like cold pressed drinks and things like that. Love it. So head on over to factormeals.com/Kempire50 and use code Kempire50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month. That's code Kempire50 at factormeals.com/Kempire50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. More information on Factor Meals will be available in the description. Okay, so that we've got everything out of the way, let's talk about Kanye West. I never talk about Kanye West because I put him on an eternal timeout. But I wanted to cover this because when we talk about men overpowering women in front of our faces, and we've seen this for many, many years. I talked about this the other day when I was talking about Diddy, and I said, but no one says anything about Kanye and some of the things that he used to say about Kim Kardashian that was very misogynistic. But we've seen him with this woman, this wife, allegedly, this wife, Bianca Censori, walking around with barely nothing on in this sort of like, I can't even use the term here. So TMZ is reporting that they might be headed for divorce. Kanye West and Bianca Censori are, why don't we just call her Bianca West if she's married him, are possibly headed for divorce. TMZ has learned the couple has hit a rough patch in their almost 2-year marriage. Multiple sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ Ye and Bianca have been telling people around them they split up a few weeks ago, with the Yeezy architect heading down to Australia to spend time with his family since the split. Well, to spend time with her family since the split. While there is no word on what prompted the split or who pulled the plug on the relationship, we're told Ye has been telling people close to him he plans to live in Tokyo and divorce Bianca. I don't blame him. I tell you, ever since I went to Japan, I understand why so many people move to Japan and love it there. Plus, it's very clean. Okay. Someone, Mia Price says, "Girl don't even wear shoes." But what you see of Bianca now was not who Bianca was before she was with Ye. And I'm not saying she's a grown woman, she can make decisions for herself. But can she? A lot of people use that excuse for some of the people that are Diddy victims. Aisha, yes, and Japan is very safe. So the rapper was spotted flying solo in the Japanese capital on more than one occasion, as TMZ previously reported. KW, Kanye West, was seen enjoying a meal at a local Jamaican restaurant with Bianca nowhere in sight. Prior to the excursion, Ye stepped out for an evening of wrestling at the end of September, where he was seen fist-bumping wrestler La Dinastia Wagner from the crowd. Again, Ye was without Bianca, which was odd for the usually inseparable duo. The couple were last seen together on September 20th when Bianca wore her signature nearly, you know what, style for shopping spree with Ye. Kanye and Bianca made a splash with their romance after secretly tying the knot in December of 2022 before ever telling the world that they were an item. Following the nuptials, Bianca became a regular fixture by Ye's side, enjoying everything from public events to family time with the rapper and his kids. It appears there's trouble in paradise for the two, indicating Kanye is set for his second divorce. Sources with direct knowledge confirm Kanye and Bianca contained a confidential marriage license on December 20th, 2022 in Palo Alto, California. If this is true, buckle up, Kim Kardashian, because now he's going to put his sights back on you. I feel like Bianca was a perfect distraction, but now don't be surprised. I want to see my kids. Buckle up. Jermaine says, I didn't know they were married. I mean, I don't know if it was ever confirmed. TMZ says that there was a marriage license, but they contained a confidential marriage license. I didn't know you could do that. Maybe it's the same license that regular Robin and Juan Dixon have. So that's the update. Kanye and Bianca are headed for divorce after nearly 2 years of marriage. Well, whoop-de-doo. look, whoop-de-doo for them, okay? All right, are you ready for your Diddy update? If you're ready for your Diddy update, drop a mic in the live chat for those that are watching this. And the replay crew, drop your mic in the comment section. Let me read this comment. Chunky says, she worked for him for a while. There's a rumor that she's a plant to get him to keep getting high and lose his mind fully so that he can get into the guardianship. I mean, I never really believed that this was an actual relationship. I tend to believe whatever you tell me in regards to why they were together. I felt like she was a distraction for him, maybe a handler for him. I don't know, allegedly. All right. So, you remember the other day, if you were here for our Diddy update, I told you that word on the street that there were thousands of potential victims. Thousands of potential victims. I mean, look, 30 years of mayhem, okay? Well, apparently that is true. But before we get to that, Diddy, I didn't even know this, got the key to Miami. So you remember the key that he got to New York City from indicted Eric Adams? I'm not even calling him mayor anymore. Indicted Eric Adams. Well, he had to get that back before he went to jail. Well, apparently, I don't know what took Miami so long. They want their key back too. I mean, how are they gonna get it back? He in jail. So Diddy's about to have a major honor taken away from him, a symbolic key to Miami Beach. Sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ Miami Beach city officials are in final negotiations to rescind Diddy's key to the city. Negotiations? While TMZ sources say that Diddy's key will be rescinded imminently, the exact day this change will be officially finalized is unclear due to Hurricane Milton hurtling towards Florida. Shout out to anyone in Florida. Please stay safe. The huge storm is expected to make landfall Wednesday, and we're told that that's delaying the inevitable with a Diddy a bit. Oh, wait, y'all got bigger fish to fry, Florida, than worrying about this. Just rescind it. I don't understand first of all, what does it mean? It's just like an honor. It's not like a key that actually works or goes anywhere. Rachel says, Miami needs to change her locks. That key is gone. That was funny. Rachel, that was funny. I like that one. Right now, so we're focusing on the wrong things. You have a hurricane hurtling towards you, and you're talking about the Diddy key to the city? You shouldn't have given it to him in the first place, because I'm sure some of you already knew about what he was doing down there in Florida. Former Miami Beach Mayor Philip Levine presented Diddy with the honorary key to the city back in 2015 during the Revolt music conference at Fontainebleau. The city also awarded keys to other celebs, including Diddy's ex, Jennifer Lopez. So, as you know, Diddy previously returned the New York's key to the city in June after Mayor indicted Eric Adams requested it back in a letter citing the Cassie video. Since then, things have only gotten worse for Diddy, as you know. Now his legacy is taking another hit. It's a shame, but he did it to himself. Look, he did it to himself. So Diddy's key to Miami has been, well, it's imminently being rescinded. Stay tuned for a full update in regards to that. All right. So apparently, remember Tony Busby, the Houston-based lawyer who has 120 victims, 25 of those victims potentially were minors when they were harmed by Diddy? Okay. So he's speaking out. You know, I get a little about these attorneys doing all these media tours, but I still give him credit for the way that he handled the press conference that he held, because he had some advocates for abuse and things like that at the press conference. So apparently there's a hotline for victims to call that are Diddy victims, okay? And apparently that hotline received over 12,000 calls in 24 hours. Okay, some of you, I already see some folks in the comment section of the blogs saying 12,000 victims. Well, 30 years? Y'all, 30 years? So our friends over the Jasmine brand said that Tony Busby, the lawyer who made the claim about the hotline, is representing 120 people accusing Sean Combs of sexual misconduct. Busby reports 12,000 people called a hotline set up for the music mogul's accusers in 24 hours. I believe during the press conference, he said at the time it was 3,000. So the Houston-based attorney shared these findings during an interview with Law and Crime on YouTube. He says, when I made an announcement that I was going to pursue these cases, the floodgates really opened, Busby said during the interview, which was conducted on October 2nd. In about a 10-day period, we got 3,200 calls. And then from the press conference, we've had 12,000 calls. Busby's announcement of the impending lawsuits against Diddy, which have not yet been filed, he said within 30 days, I'll give him, he did say this during the press conference, those 120 victims will be filing within the next 30 days. He says, also include allegations from someone who said that they were only 9 years old when he was allegedly SA'd by Diddy at a recording studio in New York City. If Combs is convicted on all charges, he could potentially face life in prison. Okay? So Tony Busby is not done. He's done a few different interviews over the last week since his press conference. Okay? So TMZ writes this in regards to these other celebrities that might be potentially settling disputes with some of the victims that Tony Busby has been working with. So some of these celebrities that may have been named, because in Tony Busby's press conference and interviews, he says there are a lot of high-profile people that are being named in along with Diddy. So, big celebrities on the level of Diddy are going to be sued for allegedly helping him carry out and cover up SA unless they settle out of court first, according to Tony Busby. The Houston-based attorney just joined TMZ on Monday, TMZ's Live, and they asked him what they should be expecting from his forthcoming lawsuits against Diddy, specifically if other major celebs would be named as defendants too. So Busby says that a bunch of famous people everyone has heard of are going to be sued by his law firm in the coming weeks. So we're going to start seeing names. And he already sent out demand letters giving these celebs the chance to pony up a lot of money to settle and avoid a public lawsuit. See, that's where it gets a little murky for me. Do you want to settle or do you want justice? Do you want to settle or do you want justice? I don't know. I mean, if you're in a situation where you've been abused, I'm just like, money is not going to fix that. But for some people, I'm like, you know what? Nothing will fix this. But if I can get a little something to make my life a little bit better or pay for my therapy, okay. Okay. So apparently Busby, the attorney that had the press conference last week alleging that he had 120 Diddy victims, says that there were other celebrities named in their investigation. And apparently these celebrities have been reached out to. And he says celebrities that we know of, not just the powerhouses or the executives that stepped down the day Diddy was arrested. He said he's already sent out demand letters giving these celebrities the chance to pony up a lot of money to settle and avoid a public lawsuit. I wonder if any of these victims named some of the same celebrities, meaning that there are potentially multiple victims with the same celebrity. And again, this is sort of, we were talking about this before in other videos and covering this Diddy stuff. I wonder if this would be sort of considered, I guess so, a catch and kill scenario. You remember the other attorney that was out here talking about there's a video of a very high profile celebrity. There's actually multiple videos, she's now alleging, of high profile celebrities that of a high profile celebrity that's on this tape. My thing is though, I just thought about this. If it's on videotape, like a VHS, ain't nobody gonna ever see it anyway. Okay, all right, bad joke. All right, fine. Unless you still have a VHS player. Do it. Thank you so much for the super chat. Interview, The Night Puff Tried to Kill Me is my memoir. I'm also now a client of Busby. My book came out in December. Okay, do it. The Night Puff Tried to Kill Me. When did that come out? And why hasn't that gotten a lot more, okay. So you're now also being represented by Diddy. So one of Diddy's victims is in the chat and wrote a book. When did the book come out? Philly John says, I have one in my basement. I think I have one in my attic. No, I definitely think I have one in my attic in regards to a VHS tape player. Distinctly says, DeWitt's in all the chats. I had a feeling. Well, he says he's being represented by Tony Busby. Let me verify with Tony. I'll get back to you. All right. So according to Tony Busby, this attorney that's representing 120 victims. Are you 121, DeWitt? Just ask him. Okay. So TMZ continues. It says, they asked Busby straight up if this upcoming lawsuits are just about people trying to cash in by claiming to be one of Diddy's alleged victims. And he says his firm is doing a lot of due diligence to weed out folks looking to hop on the gravy train. Because people will do that. We've seen that. Okay? Busby's representing, as you know, 120 victims, but he says his firm fielded a few thousand calls from people claiming that they were victimized by Diddy. Are you one of those people? Just asking. The first lawsuit, Busby says, will be filed this week, but they won't involve celebs. Instead, they will name corporate entities who help facilitate Diddy's alleged crimes, and celebrity defendants will come later. See, that feels a little grimy to me because I feel like he's giving the celebrities a moment to figure out how much they're going to pay to shut this down. Because if these celebrities were involved in illegal behavior, it says to me, very much like with the whole Diddy of it all, this was not your first time, and this was definitely not your last time in doing that. You get what I'm saying? Exactly. Love D&D says they need to publicly name all the celebrities. Time for a reckoning of these creeps preying on underage people. Or just preying on people, too. Okay. So he's saying this week they're going to be, Tony Busby, they will be starting to file their lawsuits against Diddy. However, the ones that involve celebrities will be filed later, if it ever gets filed. Jay says, just shut down the whole industry down. But that's the thing. I don't believe everyone in the industry is bad. I mean, the good majority. Look, the good majority. So apparently, Tony Busby set up a hotline. The first hotline, remember during his press conference, he said he fielded 3,200 calls. But after fielding those 3,200 calls, he ended up with representing 120 people. Now, he says within 24 hours of the press conference, they fielded 12,000 calls. Doesn't mean that 12,000 lawsuits will be filed, but of 12,000, I mean, come on. DeWitt says, you actually know me. I produce Superstar USA. Do I know you? I never watched that. Sorry. Okay. Rachel says, did you see the interview with Lord Jamar? I saw clips. I didn't watch the clips, but I saw that there were clips going up. Jupiter says 12,000. Yes, according to Tony Busby, they received 12,000 calls in 24 hours after doing their press conference where they confirmed that they're representing 120 victims. I also mentioned to you guys that Janice Combs, Diddy's mother, came out with a statement. But when I read the statement, and look, I told you I looked at Sean's mother with the stank eye. I was like, it's just like, And I don't believe the statement she wrote at all. I believe a publicist and a lawyer wrote the statement, and they wanted to release this because, as you know, Diddy is aiming for a third opportunity to get bail. The original judge that was on his case has dropped out due to a schedule conflict. And now the new judge, which has already been assigned, gives him another opportunity to seek bail. In doing the story on Janice Combs, I was like, why is her wigs always so bad? Your son is worth nearly $1 billion, and the wigs are always bad. I never understood that, but again, money doesn't give you taste. Just saying. Mia says, bless Mama Combs, that's still her baby. Or is she part of the problem? Or was she part of the problem? I mean, we may never know. We may never know. But she did release a statement. Like I said, I don't believe the statement was her. I believe the statement was... And then when you see some of the footage of Janice Combs and Diddy, their relationship was odd. Like some of the videos and how he would talk about his mother. But there's a lot of odd behavior from Diddy when you see him interacting with folks. Like that video of Diddy singing Happy Birthday to French Montana. Happy birthday. And then with a bottle of Ciroc in his hand. I'm like, okay. I don't know. Look, I don't know, but yeah. So that is, I think that was all the stuff that I wanted to cover in regards to Diddy. So 12,000 calls in 24 hours in regards to potential victims. Tony Busby will have to sift through them to figure out who exactly is legitimate. He has mentioned that there are already some celebs that are buying off victims. So we won't ever see their names. We told you last week that both Diddy's attorneys and the prosecutors have agreed to a protective order. So some of this information that comes out in the case will not make it on social media. So there's that. Miami Beach is trying to rescind their key to Diddy. Not sure why that is even important or who even cares. What does, I mean, yes, take the situation away, but y'all got bigger fish to fry right now, okay? Everyone stay safe in Miami. Everyone stay safe in Miami. So Ivy says, hashtag revoke the blonde wig. I mean, at the, I think it was the MTV Awards, she wasn't wearing the blonde wig. She was wearing like a little thing to cover her head. That was 2023. I don't know where this was, but fine. Let me just make sure that I've covered everything that I wanted to cover in regards to the Diddy of it all. I mean, there's so much, but I try to sift through just the conspiracy of it all. I know there are quite a few people doing interviews that worked with Diddy and things like that. There was another story, and since we have time, I'll play the audio for you guys. There is another story that doesn't make complete sense to me, because I'm just like, are you jumping on the bandwagon? Because all of a sudden, of course, everyone has a Diddy story. But this particular one I saw this morning, and I was just like, what are you saying here? Hold on. So shout out to our friends over at the Neighborhood Talk. They titled this, "Oop, TikToker claims his castmate from Tubi's House of Heat." Do you know that? Do you watch that Tubi, whatever that is? House of Heat was allegedly dating Diddy and Kevin Hart at the same time. Kind of weird that Diddy and Kevin Hart are both sleeping with the same girl. Is that weird? Is that weird? I'm gonna play the audio for you. It's a few minutes, okay? It's not 30 minutes, but it's like, I think like 5 minutes. So let's take a listen to what this guy from New Jersey had to say. And he has a girlfriend. Okay, anyways, let me play it.
Insider information on Diddy and Kevin Hart's involvement. I know this because I was on a TV show with a girl who was actively dating Diddy at the time. There I am. A quick Google search will tell you who she is. This girl was paparazzi'd with Diddy back in 2022, 2023. Obviously, the cast was concerned about her because the Cassie lawsuit just dropped before filming. Now, the first week of filming just had to be Valentine's Day. Now, Diddy's girl got a very expensive bouquet of flowers delivered on Valentine's Day, but she refused to tell anybody who it was from. It's a reality show, so obviously drama went down. Diddy's girl decided to leave the house for a week. So my girl and I decided to break into her room to redecorate it for show purposes. Just playing along with the drama of the show, we were shocked by what we found.
Bro, there's no way. Bro. Oh my God, from Puff.
The flowers were from Diddy. Love, Puff. This sent my girlfriend into a spiral. As a woman, she was terrified that Diddy had our address. She let the girl know how she felt and put the card back where she found it. The girl told Diddy what happened, and then Diddy threatened production. So the Diddy girl started screaming at my girlfriend, saying that Diddy was going to sue her because of what she wrote on the note. Worried that we were all going to discuss the sick shit that he was doing on our TV show. The fact that he wanted to silence a girl that he doesn't even know for writing on a note is absolutely insane. Production then pulled every cast member aside and instructed us to no longer have any Diddy conversation for the duration of the show. Diddy threatened to bankrupt our TV show and my girlfriend. We thought it ended there, right? But then Diddy's girl got mentioned in a lawsuit that came out publicly. When this went down, Diddy's girl happened to be in a fight with another castmate. Now that castmate just happened to be dating J-Lo's ex-boyfriend Casper. Diddy's girl was scared that the other castmate was going to use this Diddy stuff against her during their fight. So she decided to make a call to, guess who? Kevin Hart. Now, at the time, none of us knew it was actually Kevin Hart until later on. So Kevin Hart called Casper and threatened him to make sure he gets his girl in check on the show. Now, Casper's girlfriend told all of us that Diddy's girl was also sleeping with Kevin Hart, who happens to be married with children and best friends with Diddy. Kevin Hart clearly made the call to Casper to ensure that Diddy's girl stayed quiet about the affair that him and her were having because, once again, he's married. Kind of weird that Diddy and Kevin Hart are both sleeping with the same girl and threatening our TV show, isn't it? Now listen, I'm just an ordinary blue-collar worker from Jersey, okay? Who happens to be dating a famous OF model, which is how I got on the show in the first place. I'm not a social media star. I'm not famous. I have no reason to lie about any of this shit, okay? Now, the only reason I'm telling you guys all this is because when I was in Hollywood filming this TV show, I went through some sick, twisted shit, okay? So let me know if you guys want to hear about it all, because I'd be happy to make a part 2.
Please don't. Please don't, sir. Please don't make a part 2. I really don't believe that you were dating an OF model either. Unless he was male. Please don't. I lost brain cells listening to that again. Because I was like, okay, let me just hear the story out. Because I already saw the comments. And I was like, let me hear him out. And even listening to it a second, third time around, I'm like, what is the point of this? Kevin Hart, we already know, has cheated on his wife, his second wife. Isn't his second wife who he cheated on his first wife with? Anyways, allegedly. So this is not necessarily real news to us. I'm trying to understand the point. He did mention that Diddy tried to shut down their show from mentioning his name. Yep, I said it made my nerves bad. Train with May says he's clout chasing. And that's the thing. And we talked about this the other day when I was talking about The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives on Hulu. And I watched it and I was like, I think she only went on social media to expose mom talk in order to go viral. Because in our society now on social media, people are rewarded for this type of behavior. The only person in recent times that I'm like, you know what, I'm glad she was able to get something from going viral, and that's Risa Tisa. She's like the only person that I've seen, at least in the last year, that has gone viral, that has reaped the benefits of going viral, that I'm like, you know what, good for you. Because if anything, I think people can learn from your story. But Secret Lives of Mormon Wives wasn't great. To me, it was sort of like, what am I watching? And maybe it's the age thing, but I've noticed that with this generation that they're just concerned about going viral and having a viral moment, not realizing going viral is very momentary. And sometimes when I see videos like this person talking about his Diddy story, I'm just like, first of all, you don't make any sense. Secondly, I'm trying to understand where you're going with this. The Kevin Hart we knew Kevin Hart is trash. That's not news to us. She decides to stay with him. What do you want us to do with this information? What do you want us to do with this information? We know Kevin Hart has not been loyal to his wife, current wife. Oh, because Diddy and Kevin were sharing the same person? They probably knew that they were sharing the same person, if it's true. I did see Kevin Hart did speak out a little bit in regards to, a lot of people associating him with Diddy and being on the tapes and things like that. Fine. Look fine. So everyone's, trying to get on the gravy train. Do I believe every single person's story? Here's the thing. I'm not the one investigating these things. If there are people coming to Tony Busby, the attorney representing 120 victims, he needs to investigate it, because within those 12,000 victims, there will be actual victims. I do believe that there is a trail of victims. But we're gonna look, if you're tired of the Diddy updates, I'm sorry to tell you, but it's not going to stop. The trial hasn't even received a date yet. The trial hasn't even started yet. So there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of things going on in regards to Diddy. And of course, there will be those side stories of people just trying to have a Diddy moment. Okay? Mr. Melanin Magic, there's no one behind me. And if there is, call the police. Look. Thank you, Maggie. Maggie says, love the Diddy updates. Hey, Monica. Monica says, love your show. Thank you. Blue Jacket says, Sean comes on the video with Usher and Kevin Hart slipping with the cereal. AY says, do you think it would be televised in the courtroom? I don't believe they televise these federal cases, so probably not. And I think it will be even harder to get in there too. This is a very high profile case, very high profile case. So I highly doubt that it would be easy, first of all, to get a seat in the room. But I definitely don't think that it'll be televised. I definitely don't think it will be televised. I'm definitely going to bring back, I had this idea, I haven't reached out to her yet, but I'm definitely going to bring back Stephanie St. Aubin, not only to talk about Diddy, but I want to talk more about breaking down of the Wendy Williams situation, because there's a lot of legal stuff happening on Wendy Williams, from her ex-husband trying to overturn their divorce. Now they're trying to see if the guardian needs to be reassessed because she defrauded the court. This is what Kevin Hunter Sr. is accusing her of. So I definitely want to bring Stephanie back so we can break down all of the legal stuff surrounding Wendy Williams. I also want to talk about the guardianship and what that means for her guardianship. So stay tuned for that. If you enjoy content like that, be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you don't miss out when we do that. Because sometimes it's like the next day. So you don't want to miss that. Guys, we're almost at 400 likes. Don't forget to like the video. It's easy. It's free. Shout out to those of you that have sent super chats. We appreciate the support. If you're watching the replay of this, be sure to let us know your thoughts on everything that we covered. We covered quite a bit. We covered quite a bit. I just wanted to make sure that there weren't any other stories. I did do a separate video this morning talking about Janice Combs, Diddy's mother, breaking her silence. So stay tuned. Tune in to that if you missed it here on the channel. I also gave you a quick sort of like hot topics mashup talking about Jussie, talking about Cissy Houston passing away, and my suspicion around that, because you see Whitney Houston had her estate. She passed away. That automatically went to her daughter at the time, Bobby Christina. Of course, her mother was in her will. And then Chrissy died, and Whitney's mother, Cissy, was really the only person left. Of course, in the estate, she put Pat Houston, who I've always sort of looked at like, just some of the business things that decisions she has made on behalf of Whitney has always been somewhat questionable to me. So now that Cissy is gone, all of that comes through Whitney's estate. That goes to the estate, but that goes to Pat Houston. And although, look, she's handling the estate, don't get me wrong, so she should be paid for it, but I just always question her dealings. She also sold off Whitney's catalog a few years back to one of those companies. You know, a lot of the artists are doing that now. But Pat is still very much married. Can you imagine, though, if Pat and Whitney's brother got a divorce? What would that mean? Like, can you imagine if they got a divorce? Your ex-wife is overseeing your legendary, iconic sister's estate. I mean, they've been together for a very long time, but still, imagine. We shall see. We shall see. Trey May says Pat has always been questionable. I can't even remember every single thing that Pat Houston has done in regards to Whitney's estate, but I just know I always felt like, and now that Cissy's gone, Sissy's gone, is like, and I think even the later years, Cissy sort of kind of fell back, but Cissy has always been like a powerhouse, as Pat referred to her. She was the matriarch of the family. So the hologram tour, we remember that. Didn't even look like Whitney. There were a lot of things that Pat Houston made decisions on, and you were like, really? Crystal says, is that the brother that got Whitney into? No. And remember, we found out that wasn't true. I mean, it was somewhat true, but no, that was the other brother. Pat's married to her brother that used to do backgrounds for her on tour. Damn, Daty Bell, I can't even read that comment. Lexi says Pat finally got the money she always wanted. I think, first of all, even though Cissy was still alive, Pat was in control of everything. Pat was probably in control of when Sissy got her money and things like that as well. Because remember, she's over the estate. She's the executor over the estate. Oh, yes, I saw that. Marilander says they're re-releasing her iconic South Africa performance in theaters. Whitney, I mean, legend, icon. It's so sad that her daughter isn't here to at least, you know, carry on her legacy in regards to making sure that Pat was doing the right things. I think at the time, Chrissy was too young, but eventually I think she would have been fantastic. Because she had a little bit of a, you know, her mom's sass. Just saying. They do both. It's all right. Money issues after death is so sad and common, often leads to separation, especially when losing that person. Ooh, Lord, the comments are going quick. Who holds everyone together. Prayers to everyone who's been there. Definitely. Theo says Whitney's great. I listened to her, a lot of her house. Oh, yeah. I mean, that was a time in music when you used to always get those house mixes. Wendy Williams needs a pet. I'm just saying. I mean, she definitely needs something. And I think that will fall on Kevin Jr. I think right now Kevin Jr. is in his early 20s. But I think in the future he'll be fine. And look, unfortunately, when Wendy passes to the other side, the Guardian won't have any control over any of those things. But will there be anything for Kevin to run? Because, you know, word on the street, her accounts have been dwindling since having this Guardian, and that's the concern. There's a lot of concern that this is what happens with Guardians. They run through your all of your life savings with all this needless litigation, and literally, Sabrina Morrissey is in a lot of litigation. She's fighting Kelvin Hunter. She's suing Lifetime. So that is pretty concerning. That is pretty concerning. She's suing Lifetime, Sabrina Morrissey, Wendy's Guardian, for lifetime of care. And I said to myself, that's interesting. That, like, it's one thing to sue for, you feel like she should have been paid more for the documentary, because apparently she only got $82,000 for it. But for lifetime of care, if she has $55 million, lifetime of care, Mr. Melanie imagines that, can you be her caretaker, Kempire? Really? Really? Wendy should have named Regina as an executor. But that's the thing. I think Wendy was not in the right state after her marriage with Kelvin. I don't know how close she was with Regina, her sister, at the time. And Regina said on the documentary she was prepared to step in and be the Guardian, and they basically shut her out. Thank you, Gloria. Gloria says, I'm a new subscriber. I love your content. I also appreciate that you keep the comments respectful. The skin and dimples are everything. Thank you, Gloria. I appreciate that. You think she did it for wordplay, Lifetime, giving her Lifetime, you know, let me stop. No, I really was, to me, that stood out to me, that she was seeking lifetime care from A&E Networks. Yeah, reportedly, Wendy's best friend said that she had $55 million in her accounts, and according to the publicist, who I don't trust, in a conversation with Sabrina Morrissey, the Guardian, Wendy's Guardian, there's nothing in her accounts. That's concerning. Yeah, these conservative, I mean, the Britney Spears of it all. Like, do I think that Britney is safe now? No. However, they definitely look, oh damn, overprotected, you know, Britney's song. It was too much. But I think Britney definitely needs something. She doesn't have any support now. She went from having too much support to none. It's not great. What kind of friend discloses to dirtbags seems to be ex-husband about her money? I know, that was the part that I found to be interesting, but then I thought to myself, well, maybe Regina, remember she's been best friends with Wendy a long time, still had a relationship with Kelvin and says, you know what? Kevin is probably the lesser of the two evils. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, last minute questions, guys, because I've been busy all day. I've been busy all day. You have quite a few videos to watch and catch up on, and I still need to do the podcast for Real Housewives of Potomac. I might add a little extra stuff to it. So subscribe to my podcast if you haven't already. That's Kempire on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. We're trying to get to 1,000 reviews on both. Thousands of you watch and listen to it. So if you haven't given us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify, please do so today. It's greatly appreciated. No nonsense. Make sure you get enough sleep. I know. That's why I'm trying to go get some stuff done and go to sleep. I would love to come to North Carolina. Maybe after hurricane season, though. Just saying. What do you think about Chris Brown having a documentary about his DV? We talked a little bit about that. Was it last week? I can't even keep it together with the weeks because we did do a very similar live like this, and we talked about Chris Brown in the documentary. I'm gonna watch it. I mean, there's no denying that there is a history. I mean, it hasn't stopped his career. Just sold out in South Africa? Was it South Africa? I can't remember. It was somewhere in Africa. He sold out 92,000 seats or 94,000 seats. I can't remember. Thank you, Nita. Thank you, Patricia. I am gonna get some rest. Come to Charlotte, Kempire. I would love to come to Charlotte. Can you get the bookers to say, come on, we want to bring you down? Just saying. But you are coming to LA and I'll be there. See, Mia, thank you so much for the segue. Who's coming to my LA show? Los Angeles, I'll be there November 20th. Tickets are available in the description. Links to our friends over at Factor Meals are available there as well. And as you can see, if you're watching on YouTube, you see the little shopping cart. You know I love me some cassava. It's a meal replacement, quality ingredients, and they have all kinds of new flavors. So be sure to check that out, okay? Would you interview an alleged victim of Diddy, or is that too much? I would have to vet them, because there are a lot of people with stories, but I would need to vet them. But I would. But if the real interview, I'll tell you guys this, since you're here for our informal live. I thought about this to myself. The interview I would want would be 2 people, Cassie and Dawn Richard. Those would be the ones that I would want to interview. Oh, thank you. So no nonsense. Exactly. I am running low. My tea is running low. Hey, Omar, the home is good. The home is good. Still waiting on furniture. We're still waiting on furniture, but it's okay. I'm not enjoying it. Thank you so much. You are the best, Kempire. I always get my news from you. You have the best delivery always. Thank you so much. I would love to live stream the LA show. We shall see. Not every venue is equipped for doing stuff like that, guys, unfortunately. So we shall see. We shall see. Make sure you're following us though on all platforms. That way, if we do decide to like stream it on TikTok or something like that, you don't want to miss out. Okay. Dawn Richard, I believe, would be a great interview. She would articulate her experience well. And I've interviewed Dawn before. And again, if I was to do these conversations, I would want to do them in person. I think especially the nature of the conversation needs to be done in person. Thank you guys so much for the love. Would you interview Aubrey? I would. I'm not going to say I wouldn't. I would, because I think she would be a good interview. Kat says interview Mayor at no. We're calling him indicted Eric Adams. But she's not on the top of my list because she's already done a lot of interviews. I don't like interviewing a lot of people that have already spoken to. Chloe says my VCR still works. Okay. Would you interview J-Lo? I would. I like J-Lo. I would interview J-Lo. But she probably would tell people she's not going to answer any questions about Diddy. So, would you interview the person in the chat that said that they were a victim? Sorry, I forgot your name. DeWitt. I would have to vet it. Because as some of you already said, this person has been in multiple chats claiming to be a victim and promoting his book. See, for things like that kind of turns me off because I'm like, do you have really a story to tell, or are you just sort of trying to sell a book? But you never know. Maybe he is. But I also like exclusives. I don't really love getting on the train of other people doing a similar interview. Indicted Adam says that he's innocent. We know. When is he gonna get out of office? Please. Deborah got her tickets tonight for our LA show on November 20th. Tickets are available in the description, guys. Get your tickets if you're going to be in LA or want to be in LA. We will be there talking all the things. We'll be talking about the Diddler. I'm sure a lot is going to transpire between now and November 20th. That's the great thing about the Kempire After Dark live show. No show is the same. We're covering whatever is happening in that moment. So I can't even tell you what I'm planning. Like, I can think of certain things, but it's going to be based off of what's happening at the moment. Interview Andy Cohen. For what? What would I even ask Andy? Why did you block me? Monica, the information on my LA show is available in the description, right? Am I wrong? Mods, tell me. Asha, I did a video talking about Jaguar Wright for our members only. And we also unpacked her interview with Piers Morgan. So that's available here on our YouTube channel as well. We just did it this past week. Julie says Andy isn't worth your time. No, I could think of questions, but no. Miss Cavi says, what do you think about the hurricane? Which one? What I think is people need to be safe. If they're telling you to evacuate, please evacuate or do what you need to do. Yesterday, I reposted a video on my Instagram of some great tips on preparing for a hurricane. Yeah, a hurricane, was it Milton? We talked a little bit about that. Praying for you guys out there. It's one of the reasons I couldn't live in Florida. Yeah, it did intensify. It's supposed to be like a category 2 or 3. That's scary. Oh, thank you, Big Miss Muffin says, I watched all the lives this weekend. Yay, go Kempire Kid. That's a lot of lives. I did a lot last week. This is why I like doing the impromptu, informal one, because it's not a lot of, I mean, it's still a lot of preparation because I still have to vet some of these stories, but it's not as formal. Milton is bearing down on Florida. Oh, gosh. Are you excited about the upcoming season of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? Not excited, but not excited. I sound like Jussie Smollett right now. Because there's just so much Housewives on right now. I'm like, Right, we don't claim Jaguar as a tourist. Lexi, thank you so much. Love your shows. Your work is appreciated. Thank you, Miss Bernice. These back-to-back hurricanes. Yeah, that's... And that happens until the end of December, hurricane season. No, Paula, I didn't watch the reading yet. I started to, but then I got sidetracked. I think I got sidetracked with work. So maybe while I'm working on something else, I'll listen to it. I am watching, Dainty Bella, I am watching Love is Blind, but then I got mixed up with watching Queen's Court. And honestly, Queen's Court is so good. So I don't even know what to watch. I might tomorrow come on here, maybe during the afternoon, and do a live just talking about episode 1 of Queen's Court. And maybe I'll talk a little bit about Love is Blind. Yeah, Sheena's right. Global warming in these warm oceans. Especially what happened over in Asheville, North Carolina. I mean, Florida already was hit pretty bad from this last one, Helene. And then Asheville, North Carolina, and then Newport, Tennessee, a town that I've been to many times because I have friends that live there. Yes, Key, she is a Jaguar, is a Taurus like us. Did you see the one white man called the black woman a Oh, I did see that. On Love is Blind. That's a very, and didn't he find out that he got a little percentage of black in him? May 13th, me and Stevie are birthday twins, and he can see. Love me some Stevie. There's a lot of celebration of Stevie Wonder right now. If you're watching Love is Blind, look up the gossip on Tyler. He's a fraud. Let me catch up on Love is Blind. Maybe that's what I will end up watching. Because I already watched episode 1 of Queen's Court. And they will be releasing on Bravo some of the one episode every week on Black Sundays right after RHOP. So maybe I'll do that. Go get some sleep. Thank you so much. I'm about to. Yes, rest in peace to Cissy Houston. Matter of fact, I'm going to go play one of my favorite Cissy Houston songs with Whitney from the Preacher's Wife soundtrack. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to get some sleep. Please thank you to our King's Guards for holding us down. I keep them busy by going live every damn day. So be sure to say thank you to them. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't. Let's get to 500 likes before I get off of here, please. Can we get to 500 likes? We're so close. Thank you to everyone that sent in super chats, Venmos, Cash Apps. Any way that you support is greatly appreciated. For those that bought any of the Kashava or the Factor meals, we appreciate your support any way that you can. Don't forget to subscribe to the Kempire podcast. While you're there, give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. I probably will do another informal live tomorrow. Maybe just about the dating shows that we were just talking about. But as long as there's no Diddy update, I don't plan to do a Diddy video tomorrow. So, but I just never know. I don't plan these. All right, so stay tuned. Thank you, Asha. Yes, I'll see you guys in LA, November 20th. Get your tickets. I'll be at the Bourbon Room. Tickets are available in the description. Everyone have a fantastic night. I will see you all on the podcast. Go to my podcast and subscribe. Oh, thank you, Bernie. She said I got the Rose Forevers and she got a coldest water bottle. Just saying. Thanks for the support. Julie says, because the internet has internet, the jail has internet. Do you think Diddy's watching everything? No, I don't think he has internet. Thank you, Charlene. Everyone have a fantastic night. All of you go get some rest. You can go listen to me in bed. All right, y'all. Have a good night. Thank you to our mods. Thank you to our channel members. We appreciate it. And of course, thank you to our subscribers. We appreciate you guys as well. We've reached over 500 likes, so I'm going to bed. Not really. I'm going to go do some work, and then I'm going to bed. Bye, y'all. Bye, y'all.